Heath, who's your favorite, I guess, year 2 tight end?
It would be Dulcich.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if Zach Ertz were actually cut, then it would be probably McBride. They'd be right in the same range.
All right, we'll talk about that in just a little bit. Quick break on fantasy football today. Finish up with Heath's sleepers. We've talked about some of them. We'll talk about some more right after this. All right, remember to please go vote for us, sportspodcastgroup.com. If you just have a minute, please create an account and vote for us in the fantasy and sports betting category. Vote for fantasy football today. That's our show, just in case you were confused. And remember to listen, or on YouTube, to watch the Dynasty show, the Dynasty episode on Tuesdays at 11 a.m. Eastern. You can watch it live, youtube.com/fantasyfootball today. If you miss it live, just go to youtube.com/fantasyfootball today and hit that live tab, and you'll see all of our shows archived there. Okay, Heath, Trey Lance was one of your sleepers. We talked about him. Sam Howell, that's got to be a 2 QB league sleeper.
Yeah, I mean, I think he has the chance to sneak into the borderline QB1 range if everything goes well. His receiving core with Terry McLaurin and Jahan Dotson's about as good as it gets. He's got a new offensive coordinator who has been behind the best offensive football for the last 5 years. And he showed us in college some rushing ability. And so if he could run for 400, 500 yards, if he could run for 6 touchdowns, have maybe a Dak type rushing production, and then just be adequate as a passer, he could be very exciting.
Okay. So how would you rank Howell, Sam Howell, Jordan Love, and whichever rookie quarterback goes to the Panthers?
I would guess the rookies will be ahead of Howell. Howell will be ahead of Love for me.
Howell ahead of Love. So that will not be typical of drafts, at least not now.
Well, I don't think either one of these guys are going to get drafted in the top 20 quarterbacks, so I don't know that there's going to be a lot of typical.
So talk to Chris Towers about that, because 2 weeks ago he drafted Jordan Love in the 13th round. He took Jordan Love ahead of Kirk Cousins, Daniel Jones, Russell Wilson, Geno Smith.
I do not believe that is going to be typical.
Jared Goff.
I do not think you should use one March draft to determine what's going to be typical.
No, but I think there's, if I did a Twitter poll right now, who would you rather have, Jordan Love or Sam Howell? I think Love would get about 80% of the vote, if not more.
He might.
I'm just saying that's what I think the general public will be.
I would definitely take Jordan Love and the potential of what he can be over Sam Howell personally, but I wouldn't be surprised if Jordan Love goes ahead of, and this, I actually struggle with this ranking it, of Derek Carr and Jimmy Garoppolo.
I think he will. I mean, I would take him ahead of Garoppolo. I wouldn't take him ahead of Carr, though. How about you guys?
I've got Garoppolo ahead of Carr, so.
I mean, I just cannot see Garoppolo ever turning in a truly impactful fantasy season. But
that window is still open for Derek Carr.
This is a 1 QB.
It still might happen for Derek Carr.
He's been better than Garoppolo. This is a 1 QB league discussion. I think a 2 QB league is different. You want some floor, but I don't think Garoppolo has any upside, really. Do you?
I think
Garoppolo has any upside?
I don't think he does.
He has the same top 15 upside that Carr has.
Yeah. Carr's better than Garoppolo.
I know that you feel that way.
I know everybody feels that way.
Derek Carr guy.
How do you rank those 3, Jamie, as of right now? Love, Carr, Garoppolo.
Carr, Garoppolo, Love, but it's like that. I think that is back to back to back.
Okay.
But if I was drafting for upside, I would take Love over all 3, over the other 2.
All right. Running backs for Heath were Foreman and Pirine. Wide receivers for Heath were Dobbs and this is a good one, Juju Smith-Schuster. He went in the same range as Gabe Davis and Kadarius Toney, and just before KJ Osborne, Nico Collins. Round 8, Juju Smith-Schuster. All right, why is he a sleeper for you?
I just expect that he's basically going to take over the Jacoby Myers role, which is going to be close to 120 targets. And I think he's shown an ability in the past to do more with targets than Jacoby Myers does. Now, we don't know for sure that he'll do that in this season, but I think there's some upside that he could take 120 targets, be a little bit more efficient than Myers was, and score on a considerably higher rate than Myers did, and be a high-end number 3 wide receiver.
Juju went one pick before Gabe Davis. Thoughts?
I mean, obviously Davis has more upside, but it's just a matter of what the floor is. The floor is obviously in Juju's favor in PPR by a lot.
Yeah, I prefer Juju in PPR.
Okay. And then tight ends. Irv Smith did not get drafted. And Greg Dulcich, who was a round 12 pick and had 411 yards and 2 touchdowns in 10 games last year. 41 yards per game for a rookie tight end is not bad. You just talked about Dulcich. What do you want to say about Irv Smith?
He's playing with Joe Burrow now, and Hayden Hurst saw some spikes, despite the fact that he had one of the least efficient seasons we've seen from a tight end. If Irv Smith could just stay healthy and deliver on a little bit of his athleticism on the same volume that Hayden Hurst got last year, or if Irv Smith could just match his career efficiency on the same volume Hayden Hurst saw last year, he's going to be a borderline top 12 tight end.
And Dulcich, getting back to Greg Dulcich here, do you think, because Jamie's going to put him in a breakouts column, well, I don't know if he's going to write the column, but he's going to have him as a breakout. What do you think, Heath, Greg Dulcich's ceiling is this year?
Top 5 tight end.
Okay. All right. I'm looking at our draft here and try to find that great sleeper that nobody's talking about. Oh, I already said Deshaun Watson is extremely underdrafted. Good pick by Jamie in round 10. Who else? Kareem Hunt, that's a good pick in round 12.
I'm really nervous about him. It's not a good sign to get this far into free agency as a back at his age and not have a job yet.
I would feel the same if there weren't another few guys out there in similar standing.
Like Russell Wilson around 13. It's so easy to come up with sleeper quarterbacks. Okay. All right, I'm done.